guys, welcome back to your new favorite HVAC and plumbing podcast, Airing It Out. I'm your host, Robert Maderick. I'm back. I told you I wouldn't, but by popular demand, I'm back. Anyways, guys, so today we got a really exciting episode. We have one of our HVAC technicians, Alejandro, on the show. Hey, what's up, AJ?
Hi, how you doing?
Good. So AJ, this is your first time on the podcast, so why don't you let the people at home know a little bit about yourself?
Okay. Well, I was born and raised here in the beautiful city of Las Vegas, Nevada.
Okay.
All right.
Born and raised, rare.
Born and raised, pretty much. I started the HVAC field when I was about I think 12 or 13. Not because I wanted to, because I was forced to by my dad.
Okay.
But that's pretty much where I started at, and I love Vegas. I have a lot of family in California, but for the most part, I'm here in Vegas, and yeah.
Vegas is home.
Vegas is home.
Dad made you do HVAC.
My dad made me do HVAC.
So
yeah.
I'm guessing your dad does HVAC.
Yep.
Okay, awesome. So it's, AJ's one of our HVAC technicians here. He, runs calls all the time. And I wanted some of AJ's, perspective. He's one of the younger guys on the team. A lot of our technicians are, in their 30s, maybe 40s. We have even a technician who's getting close to his 50s. But AJ, you're in your 20s. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to ask you a few things just because of kind of the current climate within, education after high school. Okay. So I kind of made a similar decision as you did, but I wanted to ask you, why did you decide to go into trades instead of going to college? Was there a plan to go to college? Kind of talk us through that. Why the trades? I know you just said your dad forced you, but why did you continue to pursue it after you had a choice?
Okay, so I actually did go to school, but for HVAC, all right?
Okay.
I do have my associates in HVAC, but I mainly decided to go with air conditioning because I'm more of a hands-on type of person. Okay. I to be very fair with you, mm-hmm. I'm really bad at books. I kind of don't like studying a lot. Okay. I always learn by hands-on. Okay. So when I did HVAC with my dad when I was younger, I was forced to, but it got to the point where I was like, I kind of like this, but I never thought it as a career when I was younger. Okay. When I was finally out of high school, I worked in construction, mm-hmm. and I kind of was working a little bit around air conditioning, but I mainly did electrical. Okay. And I'd see the other people installing new air conditioners up there, commercial ones, and I kind of just looked at them. I was like, man, that seems, I used to do that with my dad. I kind of am interested. So I would go up there and just talk with them and see what they're doing and ask them about the units that they're installing and all that stuff. So I kind of just slowly got into it by doing all that. So I kind of learned hands-on. I love the hands-on.
Okay. So you had some experience early on, got to see that you liked this. Now, I'm a little bit older than you. I'm in my 30s, but I remember when I had chose to go into HVAC, everyone kind of gave me that look of, wait, you're going to trade school? You're not going to college. Did you kind of feel the same thing? Did you ever get friends or family? I mean, your dad does it, so maybe it made sense to your family, but did you ever have anyone outside kind of question your decision to not go to college? I mean, you like you said, you have an associates, but not to pursue business, or a lot of people out here is where they work in hotel management or something like that.
Yeah, so I have a lot of family that have bachelor's degrees, a lot of family that is in the medical field, and they did question me. They'd be like, why aren't you doing, same thing as your brother? My brother's a therapist. And I was just kind of like, I honestly just don't like studying and all that stuff. Okay. I'm better on with my hands and learning on with my hands. But on top of that, the pay was just a lot better. I have cousins who with bachelor's degrees, and they work about 40, 50 hours a week and an extensive amount, and I make more than them. Yeah. So, I mean, it's not trying to bash on that or anything, but I definitely,
well, I think it's definitely an represented part of our, the career path that we ended up choosing, because it was one of those things that now, as the dust is starting to settle, and I feel like most of the people I know are either graduated, because like I said, I'm in my 30s, so it's very rare for someone for me to still be going to school, pursuing some sort of education outside of their career. Mm-hmm. And I'll never forget that, like because I started when I started looking at this in my 20s, early 20s, I think I was 21 when I started, was that there was tons of people that were like, why aren't you going to college? And my plan was to do this to pay for college. Like, I have to have a better job to be able to pay for college because,
Yeah.
I was going to pay for it on my own, and I didn't want to go into extreme debt or anything like that. And when I got into this and I found friends that were finally starting to get like, their associates, their bachelors, and started going into careers, and we started kind of like looking at everything, I'm like, wait a second, I make more money than you. I really do like this because I'm the same way as you. For those of you guys who don't know at home, I'm a car guy, so I like taking things apart, putting it back together. And so HVAC and plumbing kind of just fit that. I was just really good at it. But at the end of the day, I feel like, I don't know about you, but I felt like at school, like if I ever talked to someone about going into trades, whether it be a mechanic, an electrician, a plumber, they were almost like, why would you even do that? Why won't you go to college? And I feel like it's such a slept on career path, not only because we're in it, but I feel like the money potential, the growth potential, the entrepreneurship that's along with that. I just feel like there's such a career path there that is slept on in schools, even from the time my age to someone closer to your age as well.
Absolutely, yeah. I didn't even start off as a technician. I started as an installer.
I was a duct cleaner, so I started off as a duct cleaner.
Yeah. And it's so much growth with air conditioning. Like, I honestly was like, yeah, I'm being an installer, stick with installing, but I never saw myself as a technician, and then I slowly started growing into a technician. It's my favorite thing to do. Yeah. Honestly, it was more of like I passionate about it, and then the pay just came with it. Honestly.
Okay, so AJ, you went to school to get this. So did you go to like CSN, or where did you go to this? Did you go to vocational school? How did you end up getting that degree?
So I did go to CSN. Okay. All right. There's a program there where you're able to learn hands-on and in class. It is a very great program. I like it a lot. But honestly, you learn more in the field than you do in school, if I'm being fairly honest.
Yeah.
But still, it gives you a good idea.
And it gave you that opportunity to get your foot into the door.
Yeah.
So I've talked about this, guys, on a previous podcast on if you guys are looking to get into the trade. If you guys are looking to get into the trade, you guys can always leave comments, and I'll be happy to help you guys out. We're always looking for technicians, plumbers, installers all the time. There's kind of 3 traditional ways to do it. The way that AJ did it, went to CSN and got a degree from the College of Southern Nevada out here. The way that I did it, I went to ATI, which is Advanced Technical Institute. They're located on the south side of town off of Decatur, kind of by the Orleans, if you would. When I went there, they were way up north by the racetrack, and I live in Henderson, so quite a drive. It's about a 9-month course. And then there's NTI, the National Technical Institute, which is about a 3-month course. Of course, the more time you invest, the more education you get, but all of them are going to give you that chance to get your foot in the door. I kind of look at the path I took, and I looked at it as it wasn't the most expensive long-term one. It wasn't the cheap in and out. So I kind of don't regret mine, but I've heard people going to NTI like, oh, I wish I would have spent more and gotten more education. I've heard people your way going, it was 2 years and maybe I didn't have to do 2 years worth of schooling.
Yeah. It all really depends on where you want to go. ATI was actually one of my options, but I was lucky enough that FAFSA was able to actually help out with the CSN one.
Okay.
So that's why I took that route. And remember, like, you can literally use FAFSA for all of this. You don't have to pay out of pocket. It really depends on you, but it definitely, ATI is really good. CSN's good. Any way you could get your foot in the door, it really helps. And you don't have to actually go to trade school. I mean, you can be an installer and start off slowly and then get into trade school, but No,
and let me tell you, install is definitely still a career out there. I mean, some of our installs, installers make very, very good money doing this. But so AJ, is this a career moving forward for you? Like, you're going to work in HVAC or at least in a trade moving forward, or do you have aspirations outside of HVAC?
I absolutely want to stick with HVAC probably for like a great amount of time of my life.
Okay.
I most likely want to go to Texas and probably start my own company.
Okay.
That's cool. That's the goal. But
what part of Texas?
Probably Austin.
Austin, okay.
Yeah. What, you don't like Austin?
No, I was gonna say Dave would be happy, but
oh yeah, he probably would be happy for me. But Texas, I'm very much like a cowboy type of person, so I definitely would start it out there. Texas is always growing, So that's my goal at
Yeah,
least.
so the plan is to stay. And that tends to be the trend here is that, I have a bunch of friends who went to college and bounced around from career to career to career, changed their major 3 times. But it seems like almost anyone who kind of gets into a trade stays in a trade. It's kind of like once you see the light, you kind of know. Now, the trades aren't for everybody, but the people that it is for, I feel like love this trade. All right, that's awesome. Now, AJ, before we end up getting off, I got 2 questions for you. Okay, you're an HVAC tech.
Yeah.
We're in heating season right now. If you had one tip for homeowners right now to maintain their system themselves, what would the tip be?
Filters are always the number one thing.
Yep.
All right. Definitely want to make sure those filters are always getting changed out. We clog up that filter and let it run like that. It's not good for the system.
Yep.
Okay.
So change your filters, people. Okay. And then number 2, the name of the podcast is Airing It Out. Do you know why it's called Airing It Out?
No idea.
Okay. So it's kind of a pun on 2 things. Airing it out, we do air conditioning. But it's also kind of a bathroom joke. You go in there, you blow it up, you got to air it out after you're done. Okay. So I got to ask you, what's your preferred way of airing out the bathroom?
Man, I'd turn on the fart fan. Is that?
Yeah, turn on the fart fan. Yeah, we've had fart fan, open the door. We've had people like, nope, it's not my problem. It's the next guy's problem. Jacob said use a match. Weird. But fart fan for you?
I'd probably do a fart fan. Yeah.
Door closed and let the fart fan do its business, or are you going to leave the door open?
I'm gonna maybe leave the door open too, just to get the full
airflow effect. Okay.
If anybody passes by, they can see what I ate earlier.
Okay.
Or smell what I ate.
Gosh. Okay. All right, guys. Well, thank you very much for joining us on this week's episode of Airing It Out, and we'll see you guys next week.